Alright, so today we will be making a Cavalier type beat as heavily requested by many people, and as usual we're gonna start with the chords.
Think I'm perfect.
It's been a while since I made one of these type beat videos, so I just want to throw one in real quick, and then probably gonna do a few other ones, kind of trap related ones, I guess. But if this does hit 150 likes, or when this does, I'll have another vote with a lot of popularly suggested people. But anyways, as usual, I'm going to start with the chords and I'll be right back. So I've come up with a chord progression real quick, and we can just go ahead and play it. And I'm going to turn on the looping so that we can go ahead and have this loop over and over while we're working on it. Anyways, right off the bat, I don't know, I kind of want to work on some sort of sound design or come up with some sort of sounds using Sylenth, because that's just a new plugin that I have, and it would be cool to go ahead and see what's going on in here and what kind of things I can use. Okay. So I kind of like these kind of sounds. I'm not sure if it's Cavalier style, but it's definitely not. Damn. Okay, so it seems right now that I really like that sound actually, but it seems like something's off with the so it just sounded like there was something off with the notes, but I think it's actually fine. So this sound, I feel like it's gonna fit a lot for kind of an intro. Now obviously we're gonna have to have a lot of melody, because that's an important part of this Cavalier style. So to be honest, I'm gonna have to mess around with what we have going on right here before I choose another instrument. And this Sylenth instrument right here is very loud for some reason. I feel like all these synths always are super loud. And it's still very loud compared to how I want it. Alright, so I'm gonna have to mess around a little bit. I made a quick little melody kind of lead sound right here, and we're gonna go ahead and use some more presets, but I just want to go ahead and play it real quick. What the heck is that? What the heck just happened? So that's the whole melody basically. Kind of a up down type of thing, starts up high and then finishes low, and it's more of a lead sound. And actually, in Serum, I recently came out with a pack, and I felt like a lot of these sounds fit for this type of genre, for this Cavalier type beat. And the specific lead that I was looking at was the Daydreamer lead, but I felt like this one would fit very nicely with the other sound. But basically it's just one waveform, and it's basically pretty close to a sine wave, and I could bring in some noise, I guess, and it has a little bit of vibrato. Definitely check out the pack. It's called Lush, and it's on seribeats.com. And as well, you can find a playlist on my channel, and it'll have like a full overview, and it shows some of the sounds. But that's basically where I'm getting this sound right here. And we're just gonna rename certain things to what they are. So chords, I guess. Now, what I was thinking is that we should start spreading this out into an intro right away. A bass instrument. Same thing in this pack right here. One of the actual sounds was a Cavalier bass, so I'm gonna use that. But if you did download my pack, Cavalier kit, there's the same sample, but it's in a WAV file. But this works as well, and basically it's just a very low sine wave with some distortion. But I feel like it sounds a lot like a Cavalier sound, so that's why I called it that. I wanted to split this into an intro and a build up, and then a drop right here. Alright, so I want to get a second chord sound, so let's get Serum, and let's actually make something from scratch right here. Let's just get a super saw. Why is there a filter on this? Alright, sounds kind of loud, so I apologize for that. But I do want to add a filter to this, but I just didn't like how it was inside the chorus effect. But right here we added a filter. And okay, I think that's good. Now we're gonna get these chords right here, put them down here, and I'm gonna bring this down an octave. Anyways, 1 second, I'm gonna be right back. I need to fix certain things. Basically what I did with these chords is just shorten them and added them to that pad that I made earlier. And basically with the pad I kind of added a little bit of attack, so it would fade in instead of just being direct, and it just gives it a softer texture. Now something I'm gonna do is add some reverb for this Cavalier style. That for the new Cavalier style, at least, there's a lot of ambient sounds and a lot of like reverb and just kind of roomy sounds that sound like they're in a huge hallway or a cathedral, kind of. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's just like very echoey and reverby, I guess, in terms of sound design. So definitely something I want to do is add some reverb to a lot of these instruments. But this is going to be the basic intro. And then it's going to move on to this part. And then the drop's going to be right here, and we're going to have the bass kind of hit right away. So right here we have the sub, and if you recall, it's from the same pack. It's from the Lush preset pack. Again, you can find it on seribeats.com if you're interested in that. But basically it's just a low sine wave with some distortion if you want to recreate that. And then as well, I added an envelope, a pitch envelope, to get a kick. And the convenience of this is that you can go ahead and use legato and stuff, and it's not a sample, so you're not going to get some sort of low quality kind of disruption and stuff when you're playing it on different octaves of a sampler. Like if you play a certain sample and you repitch it a certain amount of times, it's gonna lose quality. You don't really get that when it's right inside the synth. So that's kind of the whole point of having it in this pack. But as well, like I said, you can get it in. You can get a sample that you can use from the Cavalier kit that I made. But this chord progression starts on F sharp, so that's where we're gonna have the kick start. Or sorry, the 808. For some reason it sounds off, like it just doesn't sound right to me. I feel like it should be on D sharp. Yeah, so right there we're just gonna have it just start right there, and that's gonna signal the start of the whole drop. And we're just gonna go from there. But basically that's all I added so far. Next, I want to start working on some drums, and it may be a little bit early in the production process compared to what I usually do, but I feel like I need to kind of have a rhythm laid out this time around before I start adding 808s and stuff, or messing with the sub a little bit. I think I like either that one or the perfect one. I'm gonna go with the perfect. Alright, so we're just gonna drag it down here, and so we have the kick down there, and this is all from the Cavalier kit that I released that you can get. Alright. Alright, perfect. It's just a classic trap snare. I may layer some extra things over this when we're done, but alright. Anyways, that's the basic kind of rhythm for now. I want to do something a little bit more creative. I don't like the rhythm of that last kick. Now we can kind of match the 808 to that kick pattern. And something that I added to this patch is the kick right here at the beginning with the pitch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and completely turn it down. So now it's only just a sub. So this may be difficult for you to hear. And what I can do is just bring it up for now temporarily. Alright, so a nice little rhythm. So again, next I wanted to add an instrument. And for that I'm gonna have to at least practice a little bit, and I'll be right back. I came up with a quick little lead sound right here, or kind of melody. It's not really a sound because I haven't really done the design yet. I just used the Rhodes piano. So let's go ahead and listen. Anyways, that's the whole idea right there. And one thing I do recommend is always start with your melody idea before you start getting into sound design if you're doing some kind of creative type of stuff. Or if you have a lot of presets, just find a general preset that is similar to what you want, but it doesn't have to be exact right away. And then once you have the melody, you can go ahead and go in and choose something. So this is another sound that I wanted to use, but I think I'm going to refrain from using it just yet. I'm going to use it for some other part. And what I want to do is create some sort of lead that sounds kind of cheesy, I guess. And we're gonna have portamento or whatever it's called. And with a little bit of reverb, this could sound good, or chorus. Alright, so the chorus is kind of, I mean, it's decent. The flanger kind of sounds good as well. And now we have a Cavalier kind of sound right there. Just real quickly, I may make more of these sounds and put it out in a pack or something. Alright, cool. Now next up, I want to create kind of I always like to do this, and it's what I like to do is create a different rhythm for the same chords, or just mess with the chords a little bit. And this can allow you to come up with a different rhythm idea, drop idea, I should say. And right here, as you can tell, we have an inverted chord right here. It's basically the same chord as this one right here, except the top note is dropped down an octave. So alright, decent. Versions like that. Alright, now this is gonna be for some other part of the drop. And next up, we're gonna do some more work with the 808s. A big part of his sound is the gliding. Right now I think it's on a pretty high, a pretty low setting, so I want to turn it up to something like 120 or so, actually 150 milliseconds for the glide time. And now we can have gliding notes. So for this first one, I'm actually going to turn it up even more. So right here we have the automation on the portamento time right here. So what we can do is actually change the portamento time just for this location right here. So very nice effect right there. Always try to add movement to your music in some way or another, and automation is like the best way to do that with filters and with any kind of parameter you want to automate things to create a sense of movement. Up next, I want to actually think a little bit, but I have an idea for a sound, but I'm going to try to execute it off camera first before I demonstrate how to make it, because it may take some trial and error. I want to make a super saw kind of sound using Silent 1, which is what I am about to do. And basically a super saw is just a really large stack of saw waves. Wait, how do you do this? You gotta reset it right here. Alright, so basically a super saw is a bunch of stacked saw waves. So we're gonna turn up the voices to about 7, and then we're gonna detune them to a reasonable amount. And then I'm also gonna turn on the other oscillator as well to 7. And do the same thing. And then when you start doing these really big stacks, oh wait, that's a sine wave, so I want to put it. So now when you start doing these really big stacks, you get a very kind of wide sound that's very soft sounding. They all kind of drown each other out and create a different texture than just a saw wave. Now I'm also turning up the attack a little bit, and the volume's really loud as usual, so I apologize for that. And I'm turning up also the polyphony because right now it's very low. Now we can play these really big chords. What I want to add as well is some noise. Just so we get a different texture. And can you even, I think you can spread it too. That's kind of weird, but I guess we'll do that. Now I gotta turn down the volume for that. And now we're just gonna mess with the filters real quick. I'm gonna turn up the drive. and I think drive is like some sort of distortion. It kind of saturates the sound. But we're gonna do this kind of a thing right here. I wonder what reverb is gonna sound like with this. I don't really play with silence, so I'm not sure exactly what damp means and all these parameters do exactly. So I'm gonna refrain from using reverb right now. Alright, so nice. Now we have something that sounds more alive and has more movement in it. Now, chorus can also be cool for this. Sounds very metallic when I do that. Anyways, I think that's enough for this sound. And these are the chords that I came up with. So, I mean, not very creative rhythm as of yet, but I also added a auto filter because I do want to have some sort of filtering. Not gonna have a wobble, but something that's gonna be modulated obviously to create a different tone with the chords that I made right there. Anyways, let's go ahead and start automating the filter, I guess, because why not? Take this down. So now the filter is gonna be all the way off when the line is all the way at the bottom, and then when it's at the top it's going to be fully off. Not off, but it's going to be fully open, so it's going to let the sound through. I want to have like a little bit of a chord coming out at once. Like each time I want a little bit of each chord to come out, but not the full chord. So it's gonna be like a little kind of glimpse, I guess. I don't know what word to use to describe it, but it's gonna be like something like that. So very basic. I'm gonna bring this in probably in the second part. So anyways, that was that idea right there. At this point I'm kind of gonna have to think again. Okay, that's good. Has a little bit of reverb on it built in, and that's good for this style because again, a lot of ambience in this kind of genre. And I was thinking of adding this just so that we can have a sound with a different texture or timbre. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Timbre is another way for texture. Alright, So at this point we have just this whole layout of different sounds. We're not going too crazy or adding anything new at this point. So it's safe to say that at this point we can start adding more drum sounds or rhythmic sounds, and maybe some abstract kind of stuff with audio. So sampling is a good way to just creatively make some sort of progress. Oh, I called it the same thing. Sampling with audio is a good way to get creative sounds and do some kind of creative, make some kind of progress if you're kind of stuck in terms of melody. And what I mean by that is that right now we have all these chords laid out and we have the melodies, and there's no use in just trying to add a ton more stuff and a ton more other ideas to this, because it's pretty solid. Now we need to we need to focus more on how to fill up the space using just different creative techniques, reverb, other sounds, and audio, like I said. And we could do some cool stuff with audio, like little metallic hits or whatever, or even just any type of sound. We can turn it into something creative. We're gonna work a little bit on drums, since I feel like we can just get more elements in that way without wasting too much time. And what I noticed is that he likes to have a clap, kind of have that trap snare rhythm, I guess, in the background, something like that. And it's usually more quiet, it's more subtle, and it's panned to like a different direction. So I'm gonna put it to the right. So something like that. And we're just gonna do this to fill up some space. And I'm noticing that the kick is pretty quiet, and that's because we never turned it up. And I'm going to sidechain the sub to that kick, because we can just do that now and forget about it, so it doesn't have to interrupt our workflow later on. Now I'm just doing this to save space. I'm not sure if he really sidechains his 808 sub to the kick in his song, but I'm just doing this to make space for the kick, and it's just a general technique that works. So as you can tell, the kick is going to be a lot clearer right now than if I didn't have it, if I didn't have the sidechain on. So if I turn it off, and then I turn it back on, we're really getting the punch of the kick. I'm gonna turn up the release on it as well to about 20, but I'm not gonna have the ratio be at infinity. It's very subtle, but it definitely makes a difference. What the heck? I also want to create kind of a melody that is more consistent. It's like very on rhythm, so something that sounds a little bit more trappy, like something that's sounds a little bit too happy. So something like that. I'm gonna get a different sound. That could actually work as like an arpeggiator kind of thing. I know that the Alex keys are gonna sound very nice for this, especially with a lot of reverb on it. Alright, that's too much decay. Not getting in the way. So something like that, just to maintain kind of a trappy, kind of rhythmic kind of thing. And at the end, we're gonna make it go up by one. All right. Now, of course, we're gonna have to have more drums. I'm trying to think quickly right now. Something like this. We'll have this on every other bar, and we're gonna turn down the volume on it. And let's go back into the Cavalier kit real quick and just see what kind of percussion we have. Alright, we're gonna have the chimes right there, because they're gonna introduce a different part of the song. And we're gonna add the riser right here in the intro. And obviously that's very loud, so I'm gonna put in a different track and then turn on the volume. Alright, now let's add some hi-hats as well. Let's just go with the first one. There's not much of a difference between hi-hats. They just have generally like a different pitch, I guess, when you're browsing through them. Uh-oh. Alright, so I'm just gonna put this everywhere, kind of like this. Turn down the volume on it a little bit to about -15 or so. have another idea. This is very random, but it's creative, I guess. I'm gonna get this saw sound. It's gonna be just a basic saw, and we're just gonna play a C note real quick. So obviously it's off pitch, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna freeze the track and then flatten it to an audio file. Alright, so now we have this saw wave right here. We're gonna change it. We're gonna transpose it to like an F or so. I think it's an F sharp that we're in. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm actually gonna go 1, 2, 3. Alright, that's better. So now we're at a D sharp. So if I get a tuner real quick, E flat, which is also D sharp. But what I wanted to do was kind of take this down, and then oh yeah, transposition. I want to kind of pitch this upwards. Just doing some creative stuff with audio, I guess. Come on, let me extend this. Kind of loud. Alright, so something weird and creative like that, and then we can blend this in. So again, with music you have the compositional idea. So right now we have this note, and it kind of stands out a little bit how it is right now. So there's tons of different effects that you can use to blend it in. So these are kind of like if you were a painter or something, like water to kind of mix the colors in. I don't know exactly how painting really works in terms of blending stuff, but I'm sure there's certain techniques where, or certain types of painting where you're using like water or different materials or oil or whatever to soften certain colors and stuff. I don't know, but the effects are kind of like that in the sense that you can add them and soften stuff, or emphasize certain things with like distortion or whatever. So I'm kind of gonna blur it down using reverb and maybe like a filter. Filter delay, where? Oh yeah, auto filter. Turn it down. Alright, so now we have a little transition kind of thing right there. Now let's do something with the hats real quick. Traditional Cavalier style trap rolls is just a basic trap technique that's been used forever, just rolling the hi-hats very fast. But Cavalier likes to do that. It's just like a signature part of his style. And I mean, nowadays he's gotten more creative with it. He'll do like kind of very fast ones, and like triplets and stuff. But really with hi-hats and all these drums and stuff, it all comes down to just experimenting. and finding a good rhythm. So I like that better. See, I just muted this second part. Alright, we're just gonna copy this around. And I'm gonna do more of this off camera with the triplets and all that. And probably do a little bit of work on the second part of this drop right here. And these chords are sounding a little bit weird with this Lounge Lizard plugin right here. The rhythm is a little bit weird, so I'm gonna have to work on that, and I'll be right back. I'm basically at the final product at this point, and I've made a lot of changes to the sub and stuff by adding extra notes to the whole bass line. And I need to turn down my volume real quick. And as well, I added some automation. So as you can tell right here, I automated the portamento time. You guys already saw that, but I also added it to other parts. And right here I added kind of like this weird freestyle part right there at the second part of the drop. And as well, I rearranged these chords, and I actually chose a different preset inside Lounge Lizard. So that's the preset in case you do have this plugin. And obviously I did some mixing, and I just did a random quick master. I don't even think I did anything in the multi-band dynamics at all. I just threw that in, and a few compressors and a limiter. And as well with the drums, I added a second clap, and it kind of comes in the background and stacks on top of the other snare. But anyways, that's the whole song basically. I'm gonna play the final product in a bit, and if you did learn something or enjoyed the video or found entertainment in this, or this just got you going and you're about to go make some bangers and stuff, then go ahead and leave a like, subscribe. I'm gonna do more of these, and of course let's try to hit 150 on this video. Last time we didn't hit our goal, but I'm putting this out anyways, and I plan to do other people as well, but maybe not as complicated as Cavalier or these other people. But of course, when we do hit 150, you guys get to choose. That's the whole rule whenever we hit our goal. But anyways, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.